Yeah, it's funny. For me, it was like Absence was such a statement for me, like as a guitar player, as a musician, whatever. So then it was just like, I remember, again, it wasn't a struggle, but it was just like, where do we go? Where do we push it from here? Like you said, we have the bookended concept, we have all this stuff happening, and then it was just like, where do we go? What do we do? And then all of a sudden, it was just like the riff faucet turned on again, and
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast. I'm Jay Ingersoll.
And I'm your boy, Modd.
And today, we have the post-metal Blackened 3 out of 5 piece from Kalamazoo, Michigan. One With The Riverbed.
Yes.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Know you had a little cruise. Are all you guys from KZoo then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
sweet.
That makes it helpful. The whole band is?
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes
Very
it
lucky.
easy.
Yeah.
That makes it easy too, because a lot of bands, one guy's from an hour this way, too. I mean, I play in a band with Jeff, and he lives in Kalamazoo. So I mean, so we're going to get into all things One With The Riverbed. Before we get going on this, we'll start here, and then you just want to say who you are and what you do in the band, just so we can get the voices acclimated with the audio.
Yeah, definitely. My name is John Scott, and I play guitar.
My name's Bryan, Neterer, and I play guitar.
I'm Jared Koons, and I do vocals.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate that. So, we'd say, just to give you kind of synopsis, I want you to give me a history of the band, but just my takeaway when I first kind of put it on and listened to it. Because, like I said, we played with you guys 2-3 years ago or whatever, but what you guys were doing 3 years ago, what my band was doing 3 years ago isn't the same as what we do now, or even what you represent on the CD, or that was kind of the only time I really heard you guys until I started really diving into your music, right? So to me, I just like, you guys got this really blackened melodic mood stuff going on. I know you say it's like post-metal. The first few releases, maybe a little... The way I was thinking in my head, like, Mom is like indie rock or post-metal, post-rock, whatever. That's Mom, right? And Dad's black metal,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's fair.
Somewhere in that vein.
And for the first 2 albums, you guys, as you're maturing, you guys kind of got Dad's eyes. I could see it a little bit. You got a little bit of the jawline, right? And then we get into this third one. Now all of a sudden, your hair looks just like Dad's, man. Like fucking your
dad's height.
Yeah, your dad's height. Like you've gone right into Dad a lot on the new album. So we'll get into all of that. But that was just kind of what I took away from it.
No, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I love the analogy. That was new. That was new for me.
That's good stuff. Yeah, I'm going to take that.
So, if you want to just, whoever wants to speak, but if you want to just take me a little bit about the inception of One With The Riverbed into, we'll say, let's just go into Solace, like up until that point, kind of the inception and how that worked.
Love it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Go for
So, for quite a while, like we were like us 3 and then Lisa, our bassist, we were jamming, but we didn't have a drummer. So we were meeting up in John's apartment and just like writing stuff. And I think the idea, at least for me, when I was kind of trying to like figure out what we were going to do, I'm really into atmospheric black metal. And I think obviously there's that influence there, but it's a collaboration of 5 people, So we were kind of writing in his apartment, and then one day, like, Jimmy was just on my feed. He's like the only one we didn't know prior to the band, and I went to them. I'm like, he plays drums. Should I see if he's interested? And it was like probably like a year in your apartment, I think, before we did anything.
At least.
Yeah, and then we ended up going to Jimmy's house in like 2017.
Yep.
Late 2017, and just started writing Solace. And Solace was literally like, we wrote in sequential order, all 5 songs, recorded it, and then we were kind of like, this is what we're doing, and then just went from there, really.
Okay. You guys got anything to say about that from your perspective?
I might have missed something there.
No, you did a great job. It's funny because we didn't know which genre we wanted to be. We didn't know, because it was, at one point it was called Mouse House, and it was like noisy grind with like black metal atmospherics and like kind of sprinkled in. So just the idea of writing without a drummer is very strange, so it's just like, what is this going to be? Like, it's just truly trying to make something without like the foundations of the house. So yeah, Jimmy really rounded us out. And then of course with Lisa kind of bringing the bass to the party. Brian's really hungry right now.
I'm hungry.
Oops. I have a granola
I'll get you
bar.
a protein
I was going to say,
bar, though, if you need
yeah, like, we're good, man.
No, we're good.
There's a great joint up the road called Whitlow's.
all right.
On
Shout
the
out.
way out, I'll go with you. They got great perch.
That sounds great. But yeah, no. So it was just an adventure of trying to find the sound, and then Jimmy kind of brought it together, and we really just kind of built that foundation together.
Yeah, there was a lot of throwing stuff at the wall at first, I
Yes,
think, and just seeing
definitely.
what the vibe was.
Kind of how all bands kind of start.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
you got this thing in your mind what you want it to sound like, but just like you said, and it's funny you say that because I wanted to touch on that almost at the end of all of this. But I feel like I can tell you guys are a unit and you're all on the same page. And by the end of the new record, which we will get to, I feel like it's like, okay, this is you guys at, I won't say peak, but peak compared to where you guys started.
Yeah.
But I can tell it's all of you guys' input on this thing, especially on the new record, or at least, I mean, we'll get into the writing, but like, I just feel like it's all 5 people, like you said, right? Like you can't, you got to have, in order to create what you guys create, you got to have 5 people on the same page.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you might have one, you could have 4 guys that are like, hey, I just want to do exactly what you want to do, right? So, I mean, but sometimes, like, I just want to do what John does.
Yep.
And John's like, okay, this is exactly what we're going to do. You guys play with this. But to me, your band doesn't seem like that. It seems like you all got your own thing that you put into it, and that's what you get out of it. So, as far as Solace goes, that came out October 2018, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Natural but clean production. So, it's not like overly produced with like,
Yeah.
because
Definitely.
sometimes when you think about black metal ish stuff, it could be just all blast and on the grid or just like grind, not old school black metal, but like new school,
gotcha.
newer
Yeah.
black metal. I kind of put like black and roll leaning into black metal because there is a lot of more like almost indie rock or rock
Absolutely.
and roll parts on this
Mhm.
first get together, right?
For sure.
And then, but it's very dynamic and it's very progressive, and I did enjoy it. We won't go through every song of these first ones because we'd be here forever, right? I did
Yes.
write a note for every song.
Yeah, as did I.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lots of like deep notes, but it's,
The problem is once we start getting into 2 EPs and an album's worth of stuff, we'll just only talk about your music for 2 hours, and then we won't get into some of the other questions. So I'd really focus on the new shit, right? Because that's kind of like
Yeah, appreciate you.
right the newest thing that you guys, the newest offering, right? So, but I mean, bunch of great songs on a bunch of good songs on there. But do you think I'm accurate, or what would you say, Nick, when you listen to Solace? When I say it's kind of more indie rock with some black metal influence, almost.
I like that description in terms of using those genres. I have some band names that kind of came to mind right off rip. You guys can tell me if you've even ever listened to these bands.
Okay.
And I only come at you with these names as a compliment.
Okay,
So
cool.
if you don't like it, that's I apologize, but this is just what I'm hearing. So I hear a little bit of that like that post-hardcore, post-metal from the band ISIS. If you're familiar, got to go back
I am.
some 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Okay. And another band that I would compare you to, especially with respect to the atmosphere, and you got to go to the beginning of their catalog, is a band by the name of Anathema. They're from the UK.
Oh, yeah.
So they were like this British doom metal band, and then they just kind of evolved into like more of a progressive rock, and to a later stage of their career where they're not even really metal adjacent anymore at all. They're just kind of like very musical. But the early stuff, they had the Growls, and then the last band name that came to mind, especially as we get to the newest album, was the band by the name of Deafheaven out of Denver. So Blackened, like new American black metal.
Shoegazy,
yeah. So I agree with all of that, Jason. I felt like, there's black metal in there, but there's a lot of instrumentation, and it's not an in-your-face black metal band, not some true cult from Europe.
Yeah.
It's this American instrumental black metal thing where there's a lot of black metal passages, as I noted, throughout all of the catalog, but there's just all of this ambience and atmosphere. I must have typed the word atmosphere so many goddamn times last night.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, and it's in the description too. You're pulling no punches here. It's a great description of your band, and I just thought, man, what Jay was referencing with respect to having like 5 people on the same page, I feel that too, because one of the things I noticed is like maybe a guitar would just have like one guitar would hold the line. and then everybody else's parts would shift and change around that, which is the coolest thing because you just can't do that alone. I mean, you could, but it's so much easier when you've got the other 4 people to say, all right, for the first 2 times, I'm going to lock in with you. But then the drums are going to change, and as a bassist, I'm going to jump in with the drums, and you just hold the line, and then the second guitar, whether he's doing volume swells, feedback, atmosphere, or a lead melody line, I just love how many different things would happen over the same exact riff, and just how well you guys would progress those riffs into, say, the next riff. But I absolutely loved it, but those descriptions are accurate.
Okay.
And I feel like you guys, killing it. I love it.
I feel like that is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's always a goal in writing is kind of building on a concept and kind of like shifting and changing until you're like, oh, this is something else now.
Yes,
Yep,
absolutely.
definitely.
Brian loves feedback.
Okay.
He's like the feedback connoisseur.
Okay.
So
That's my tone right there.
We'll give you some.
Lots.
But since we're throwing around band names, I did have Deafheaven on there as well, just because of some of the shoegazy type stuff. But Blackbraid with the melody was something that really kind of screamed to me. I mean, Blackbraid is a little more they grind a little bit more, but like when you guys get into some of that melodic, like catchy stuff, that remind me of that. And then like Ghost Bath, you guys familiar with Ghost Bath?
Definitely.
Because of the cleans, especially the new Ghost Bath record is like almost all cleans. It's like crazy almost. So so that was like you're gonna call that like an EP, right? I know you guys got some long ass songs, so even
I think
5
Solace
songs.
is an EP.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Good. I'd say go listen to it. Like I said, I wrote a bunch of notes on all the songs just for my own. But then do you want to take me in? So then we got like a 3-year break in between that and then Absence. So you want to tell me kind of the evolution of the band in that span of time? Obviously, we dealt with a worldwide pandemic that don't help in between there as well. But we'll want to talk a little bit about the band in between Solace and Absence.
Yeah, I'll jump in there. So it's funny you talk about Solace, and it really was lightning in a bottle almost, because we were all finding each other. The songs were just quick. It was just, the riffs were flowing, right? So it was just like, we sat down at a practice, we wrote a song, finished it, boom. We sat down next week, we did another one. So we're just like, it was like kind of that honeymoon phase. You know, it's just like, oh, great, this is so good. We started playing shows. And then, as you said, there was kind of that the pandemic didn't help for sure, but then it also kind of reached the point where like, it wasn't sophomore slump, but it was just like, what do we do now? Like, it was kind of that we had such a natural exploratory phase, at least for me speaking, that writing was just like, oh, this is great. This is a dream. This is cool. And then Absence came around, and we also were working with a label. So for the first time, really in my time writing, we had a deadline, right? So it was like, we need to have this album kind of canned. It needs to be written, completed, everything. And then so it was like, for me, it was a challenging period just because we wanted to push the envelope and definitely wanted to we didn't want to do Solace Part 2.
Right.
And I truly, I think that really pushed us to kind of take the next step. So that's why I think Absence to me was it was a difficult process, but it was very rewarding in the end, especially because we still have, a handful of those songs we always play live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think too, like outside of the writing process, it got weird because there was a lot of things where we're like, we're going to do like a live playthrough of one of the songs, and then when we record it, we're going to build up the release, and then the pandemic happened, and we postponed practicing, we postponed recording, but I think one thing that really benefited us is we were still meeting virtually just to like talk
teams,
and like just like stay connected and stuff like that.
Yep.
And also with Absence too, like we knew we wanted to do a full length, so but also the 5 songs felt natural. So we kind of that's just how it ended up. So we don't even know if we consider that an EP or not, I don't think.
Yeah,
but
it's a weird gray area that you're in because you're only 5 songs.
Yep.
But it was like almost 40 minutes or so. I'm just trying to math it real quick.
Yeah, because Phantom's
21.
Glance has 14:09 by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 38 to 40 minutes. So
exactly.
I mean, you can call it a full length.
Yeah.
It's about that length.
Yeah. What about you, Brian? Is there anything?
I don't know if I have anything else to add to that.
Okay, that's
honestly.
fine.
That's about the gist of what I remember.
Okay, cool. I absolutely like this too. I did feel like you could tell some progression of your band while you did do some things differently. It's like you had your formula, right? You kind of knew what you wanted because you always you got to know what you want at the end of the day, right? But I have some notes on there, but I like I said, I don't want to go song by song, but I will just point out that Disembodied is probably my favorite song off of that, just because to me it was like one of the heaviest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
And lots of cool. I'm a fan of black metal, like audible black metal. I'm not really into the true cult stuff or whatever, but I do like stuff like Wolves in the Throne Room, and different stuff like that. Like some of the newer stuff, like Dark Funeral is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
But Dark Funeral has always been one of those ones that are a little more accessible.
Yes.
Right. Like you can hear what's going on. Like I gotta hear your production.
Oh yeah,
like,
production.
I don't need the K, then the V, then the L, then the T, just because your recording sucks. Like I know it's only for certain people, but it's just not for me. So, but yeah. Also with this, I do want to touch on. I loved how you had the violin on this, right? Mm-hmm. By Katie Calvert.
It's Brian's wife.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Well, good job, Katie.
She crushed it.
There was she did 2 takes. One of them's the first part, and then the second one's the ending.
Yeah.
So that's all she did. She showed up for like 10, 15 minutes and left.
Dude, it's great. I love how the album started with that, and you kind of put the books together on the shelf where the bookend and the book start, right? Like I did notice that on there.
Thank you.
That's fucking
that.
awesome, dude.
Thank you.
It started with wind and violin and it ended with wind and violin, correct?
So,
I loved it. It was,
just a glimpse.
But that's perfect. I mean, that's the idea in a way. Like if you're writing a conceptual piece or something that's not just a set of singles, but an album. I mean, it's simple. It's genius. Just roll in with whatever we start with, we're ending with, because it's like one solid piece. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then we move in from this. So this came out 2021, right?
Yeah, Absence.
Yeah.
August.
Yeah.
It says August 2021.
Okay, that's what I got down.
Yeah, because we finished writing literally December of 2020, I feel like. Or recording.
Yeah, we recorded like mid-pandemic kind of thing, and then just sat on it until the label was ready kind of thing.
So so we're not supposed to be meeting at this time in person. How does the recording unfold then?
We waited quite a while, and then there was a lot of processes. We were all masked up when we recorded. I know if I tracked vocals, he Chris, who records us, he didn't even go in the vocal booth for 2 days and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of stuff like that. But
it was really interesting too, because that stress kind of, I think you can kind of feel that on the album. Like Solace is just like, oh, we're having a great time. This is cool. But having that fear, kind of that weird, just like, hey, this might go off the rails. Like we might record today and then it all falls apart tomorrow kind of thing. Like it was just kind of a very unstable recording environment. I mean, Chris and everybody did such a great job. But for me, at least, it was just like, I'm working in my apartment kind of thing, like working from home. It was just, it was a different vibe, but to me, it kind of led to that anxiety, and I think made it better as a result.
It's weird now because since this podcast, I always look back on anybody's catalog, and when we get to that time, 2020, 2021, it's the most curious time, especially if you existed before that. I can see coming out of the pandemic and I want to start a band. Yeah. But if you already had a band and you kind of had to endure that and I don't know what the world's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come out of this as a musician, but you guys stuck to it.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah, there were so many bands I saw that didn't make it out of the pandemic. And I think that's why it was really beneficial for us to just kind of talk at least once a week or just stay in contact or do whatever.
Keep the routine.
I'm not even really sure what we were talking about.
It was mostly
maybe just release stuff.
Silliness.
I don't know. But, just get on an Instagram chat with 5 people.
But
just
having that
whatever.
communication open and knowing that you're still there for each other and we're still a band, we're still a unit, and we still have goals. I think that's important. I think you guys did a great job of that.
I think it's healthy too to you sit there and tell yourself the world will get back to normal.
Yeah.
And when it does, we'll have something that we've been working on this whole time.
It's been a long 3 weeks, they said.
Yeah. Just 2 more weeks. So was there file sharing going on? Is that how we're doing the writing, or
what do we do?
I don't
even remember.
I don't remember much. Honestly, I record a lot of things on my phone and just send it over, just audio wise. We do have the Guitar Pro kind of software that we can send across, but it's been years since we've done that. But most of the time, it's just hey, here's a riff. Hey, here's a song. Just kind of listen to it, put your ear up to your phone, kind of thing. Also, too, we couldn't workshop things live, so that was another thing, is that we're very much play a song 100 times live before we record it. So that was a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
How will this translate live? We didn't know.
Yeah, we do mostly write together in the room for the most part.
Yeah.
I would say 80% of it. Yeah. Maybe more.
And we'll dive into that a little bit more too, because Nick and I know are always curious about the whole process. Because everybody's kind of got their own process and how they do things. But tell me a little bit about then, basically coming from August 2021, you guys put out Absence, and then Succumb that comes out basically almost 1 year ago. At this point, October 2024. So I got a little 3-year time in between that. how were things different for you guys and what changed going into that album?
Yeah, we've always moved pretty slow with stuff than most bands. Like we just kind of write at our own pace and that kind of thing.
Feels like you're at a pretty good clip for the
Yeah.
length of the songs and the amount that goes into
thanks,
them.
yeah.
I mean, if you were writing shorter, like condensed songs with fewer parts,
Yeah.
I could see a quicker turnaround time. But we're like writing 7-minute songs on average
That's
with
true,
a
yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of layers.
Yes,
So
definitely.
I feel like a 3-year clip per album is fair
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
5 people. Like,
Right.
Yeah, we just kind of like right now we've written a song and then it's like, okay, we're going to play some shows, and we obviously don't work on writing when we're
Right,
playing
right,
shows.
yeah,
So we take a
absolutely.
step back, play some shows, and we come back to writing. As far as in between, I'll let you take it because
Yeah.
I don't remember that well.
Yeah, it's funny. For me, it was like absence was such a statement for me, like as a guitar player, as a musician, whatever. So then it was just like, I remember, again, it wasn't a struggle, but it was just like, where do we go? You know, where do we push it from here? Like you said, we have the bookended concept, we have all this stuff happening. And then it was just like, where do we go? What do we do? And then all of a sudden it was just like the riff faucet turned on again. And it was really, really exciting because I remember it was just like December of 2020. I just like right after we had finished, we finished recording Absence, I just started like riffing, and then just like 2 of the 3 songs just came together like in one day, just like sitting in my house, just writing, playing an acoustic guitar kind of thing. And then it was just like short bursts like that, really quick, like 3 songs down. Cool. We're feeling great about them. And then like we had some shows, we had a tour, then, oh, here's another 3 songs. It was a really interesting process. We didn't have a timeline. So we didn't have that year kind of like, hey, we were working with a label where it's like, hey, let's just write it. Let's do our thing. Let's shop later kind of thing. So for me, it was just like these massive like bursts of productivity. And then we get sidelined by a show or a tour or something like that, when it's just like, okay, my focus is always going to be what's our next task. I don't want to just be like, sorry, we can't play the show because we're writing kind of thing. So to me, it was a good experience.
And like sometimes John and I would wake up in the morning to a riff from Bryan that he texted us at 3 a.m.
Yes. Oh yeah. On a weekday, Bryan writes at a different pace in a different world, which I appreciate.
love it.
When I get in the zone, which
Yeah.
isn't often, but
Yeah, I mean, when the muse is telling you to write the
Exactly.
riff, the muse
I
is
know it.
telling you to write the riff. You gotta wait on the muse, buddy. You don't wait on you.
It's a nice way to wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Brian's got riffs.
There's a riff
Oh,
present.
hell yeah.
Good morning.
Yes.
Love a new riff in the morning. Shit.
Yeah.
So then this came out October 2024 via Dusktone, 53 minutes. You guys put the full length, that's for sure.
Yep.
And I do want to say that on this, production is excellent.
Yes.
It really stood out, the drum sound on this record, whereas the other 2 were the more natural sound. I feel like there might be some like actual helpful replacement on this, reinforcement.
Yeah.
Like the drums aren't necessarily replaced, but I felt like this whole album, like I said, this is when you really start to look like Dad more, the black
Yeah.
metal Dad,
Yeah.
right? Like you guys are really, like this album is razor sharp.
Yeah.
This thing, and I'll be completely transparent with me saying like not wanting to offend anybody, but the first 2 I was listening to, and sometimes as a musician, you're kind of like, well, I like this. Maybe I would have did this different or whatever. When you guys get to this record, you did everything that I thought that would be extra cool on the other ones. You guys accomplished it on
Thank
this
you.
new record.
Thanks.
And to me, that's amazing because that means you guys are, like you said, where you go from here. Well, you guys are progressing. You guys are developing as musicians. You guys are getting better. You're getting better at songwriting. You're getting better at riffs. Like, I was just like, this album fucking rules hard. Like, I was a super fan after this. I was like, dude, this shit is badass. But me, I'm also more the dude that is like, give me fucking death metal. Give me the heaviest shit. Give me nails. Give me the steamroller. Fucking roll over your shit. Like, I don't really get lost in the ethereal a lot. That's not just, it's just what speaks to me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I just need a fucking good sledgehammer a lot of
Yeah.
the time. So that's the shit that speaks to me,
It's so funny you say that because I remember having a vivid thought, and I told it to everyone except for Jimmy. I'm gonna see how many metal riffs I can sneak into this.
Okay.
That was,
You did.
I was sitting there just like I was writing this. I'm like, normally there was like a filter, right? Is this too metal? Because when we came together, Jimmy was much more like, I don't really, he had done the metal band thing, right?
Okay.
So it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's kind
Yeah.
of like kind of like a gentle transition. You don't want to just be like, hey, blast all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we just need you to blast pretty much 24/7.
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
So for this
I
one,
would
was
like it.
just, yeah, same.
Right.
So like, yeah, it's funny. This one was just very much like, okay, let's sneak this thrash metal riff in there. Let's
Yeah.
just see if anyone notices. And then,
I did.
yeah, so I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we noticed.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Well, at first, because I was reading the descriptor that you guys kind of had on the website, which also kudos to you guys for having a website because it makes it easy for guys like me that have podcasts that want to learn shit about your band that I don't have to look at 9 different social media platforms,
Right.
personally stalk your own Facebook page.
Yeah.
So hopefully you posted a picture about the band that I could find. Like
Yeah.
it's a fucking nightmare sometimes to realize how much shit people don't post about their band
Yeah.
or whatever. But you guys got the website, the .com. It gives me all the information,
That's
all
all
the
Jared.
releases. I'm like, hell yeah, these guys fucking know I'm looking for this. So, but in the descriptor it said Shadows Fall. So this is before I really got into the album, and I'm like, well, I see like the Wolves in the Throne Room
Yeah.
and the Envy, and then I was like, Shadows Fall.
So-
but then I heard,
Yeah.
you can expound on that if you want to. Go ahead.
It was actually the label.
Oh,
He's
okay.
like, you know, when I hear some Shadows Fall, and I'm like, you know what? I like Shadows Fall,
Oh,
so
yeah, yeah.
let's
It's
roll with
It's going in the
it.
description.
That's
Yeah.
not a goddamn lie, but I'm sorry. I love Shadows Fall too, but I just didn't. I heard some of the riffs.
Yeah.
like I heard some thrash riffs for sure. I was like, and real quick, I just want to say, I love how all the different things you do. Right, you got the clean passages, you got the atmosphere, you got the black metal, but I love how like every song just you'll have a riff, and it's not some generic riff I've heard from some other band before. I'm like, man, that's a well thought out riff. And I really loved what I was hearing, and I was like, oh, like every song has kind of got like one standout riff,
Yeah.
where I'm like, it's not black metal chords,
Yeah.
it's not this dark, macabre clean passage or whatever, but like those riffs, I was like, oh man, those are hard to put a finger on. Sometimes I'm like, what genre is he pulling from? Some it was a little bit obvious, like a thrash,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like your 80s big
Right,
four
right,
thrash. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
It was more metal core. That's what
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
say. Like,
Yeah.
so when I heard a few of those riffs, like,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, go ahead. I was just gonna say, and the other riffs were like death metal.
Yeah.
But like, if we're throwing Shadows Fall in there, like that's a reach. Like, yeah, you got some death metal riffs.
Oh yeah.
But some guy really liked Shadows Fall and wanted to tag it with your band. That's fine too. Whatever.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we played. Jared and I were in a band in high school, of course. So and we played with See You Next Tuesday, and the label like said for fans of Lamb of God.
On
And
See You Next Tuesday.
Yes, on See You Next Tuesday.
Oh,
release.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, and so I
No.
walked up to him at the merch booth, and I'm just like, man, like, what's up with the Lamb of God tag? Because of course, Lamb of God, there was a time and a place.
Sure.
2003, it was
Yeah.
like, this is crazy.
Fucking loved it.
Yeah, and he was just like, man, the label put that on there. We had no control. And I remember thinking, that's the craziest thing. And then flash forward, 15 years, it's like Shadows Fall. But I mean, we all love Shadows
I
Fall.
love Shadows
we
Fall.
Absolutely.
grew up with it. So it's just
For
like,
sure.
I definitely don't want to disrespect them at all because, that's
Yeah, but you also don't want to
incredible.
steer your fans the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disservice
Man,
because
I know, right?
if
Here's
I-
a war within,
yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, there was a few metalcore riffs, like kind of just
Yeah.
because of the melody, and that's where I was like, I guess that's where the Shadows Fall thing comes
Yeah.
in, but it was never where I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah, man, these guys sound like Shadows Fall, like a motherfucker. Man.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where he said that, and I was like, maybe it's an outside opinion, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
roll with it.
Yeah,
I guess maybe
yeah.
other people do too. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like, and we talk about it on the show. Sometimes you're so close to your stuff that it's hard. It's like, well, what does your band sound like? It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well,
You tell
sometimes,
them.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of for
Yes.
you to
Yes.
decide. So if somebody says Shadow Fall, you're like, well, I guess you got Shadow
Hey,
Fall.
thanks. Yeah, I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's-
They're a
that's where
great band.
And that's
yeah.
where I'm coming at you when I say the band names that I do, and you would know better what you sound like from your own influences, but I'm just pulling what I hear, and
Yeah,
it's closer to some of the things that I mentioned, but I loved the riffs. I loved
Thanks.
how well it all came together.
So let's jump into this. Kind of what Nick and I do. We'll just go track by track if you don't mind. We can kind of break it down. If there's anything you guys want to jump in with, feel free. Or we like to get your input, and we just like to kind of give you what we took away from it, and hopefully that helps you and helps the audience, and maybe helps somebody else listen to your stuff, know what they're expecting. So,
Yeah.
going right into this, production was great. Now, was this Chris?
Yep.
Okay. So you guys stuck with him the whole time, right?
yeah.
And so, I mean, the Lucius guys were just here.
Yep.
They just did the record with him. He does a fantastic job,
Yep.
man.
Yes.
He does a great job keeping everything natural, not overly produced, not on grid,
Yep.
not computerized. And I think that lends really well to you guys' style as well.
Thank you. Yes.
It's that's why I said the production on this is excellent. I feel like the drums sound more metal than rock. So I kind of that does help the ferocity of the music and the parts where you really want to get intense, right? I think that helped a lot, but he did a great job with it. So kudos to him once again on another great record. But getting into this, Infested, I just read you the notes word for word. Love the ferocity this starts with. To me, this is where it like kind of harkens to a little bit of the Swedish metal. I guess you could say where the Shadows Fall was influenced from. Because to me, there's a few parts on this album where it almost sounds like some old At the Gates, like Gardens of Grief.
Right?
Yes,
like
I'll
that,
take it, man.
That
era At the Gates, right?
Old.
Like that raw, like natural. But I love this side of you guys. The trem melody on this is absolutely fantastic. What I love about your trem melodies, like a tech death band, right? They do a trem melody and you're just doing like 42 notes that don't exist in 12 scales because the Mixolydian and the Locrian and all this shit. Like you guys almost do the Kiss method where it's like kind of keep it simple, but it's not so simple where Nick was saying that it's something you heard before. It's simple in a way that it's unique but catchy, and I absolutely love that. Like you guys pick the right notes and when to do them, and then it helps with the layers too. That not everybody's just playing the same thing, so that makes it super cool. But I just love the trem melody on this. The vocal patterns are absolutely great.
You.
If you ever heard this show,
man,
people hate listening to me talk about vocalists and their fucking lack of patterns and their over singing and their just inability to be aware of what everybody else is doing in the band.
I got to back Jay up on that real quick, and I'll pass it right back to him too. It was one of the first things I immediately noticed is the patterns for one on the vocals, for two, just like knowing when to let the song breathe. And you really let the song breathe so well. Like,
Thank you.
I'm like a guy who gets it, because any other vocalist and they're holding the mic, especially like with the deathcore genre, it's nonstop fucking vocal vomit, and it's like, please God, stop! I want to hear the music. Please,
I'm making that into a shirt today.
But
please God, stop this vocal.
Yeah, you did such a great job, and we'll get into it. But especially as you get into like the third album, I can start to hear the growth as the vocalist. Where you're like immediately, it's like you're kind of like you got one vocal early on
for sure
with like a couple.
He told
of
me
lows.
that actually,
which is fine. I actually, I like it because I'm tired of hearing the acrobatics. I want to hear your voice. You don't rely on any backups. Nobody's backing you up. It's one vocal the whole time. You got great patterns. You let it breathe. And then as we grow and get into this third album, I start to notice you bring out those lows a little bit more.
Yeah,
now, I'm not like a low vocal guy until
I'm a low vocal guy.
Until it's like you start to like pull it out as a 10%er. Like I only do the low vocal like 10% of the time. So impactful. And when you first did it to me, I was like, ooh. I don't even really like them low vocals, but when you reached for it, I was like, God, that was perfect. It was such a nice change of pace. And then as you get into your catalog, by the time you get to the third album, we're doing it a lot more. It's not 50-50 because you got your high range and your mid range, but when you reach for that low, every time I'm like, right in the stomach every time. I thought you did such a great job of developing that low over the years, but you serve the song well with your patterns and letting it breathe and switching it up from your high to your mid to your low.
Thank you.
A vocalist like you, I like to refer to as like a storyteller vocalist, because we're not doing all the acrobatics. We're just doing the lines, singing the song, telling the story. You'll move it up and down from mid to low to high, but we're not doing the,
pterodactyls and the fucking
trampling
toilet
the music.
bowl, all that bullshit. Yeah.
Those
That's the
things
next album.
Those things.
It's all toilet bowls.
I wish.
All slam vocals next
But
record.
Jason, continue, please.
I only have a couple more things. I just wanted to say the vocals, they're like a little more broken up too, like where it seems like you were conscious of the pattern and when it should stop or end. Whereas where the earlier work, it was kind of like maybe you're just getting your feet under you, trying to figure out where you fit in with the complex sounds that you guys make together, because it gets pretty in depth, right?
Yep.
And then I love it how they're discernible too, because you could be doing this black metal high that's like, what the fuck is he saying? But like I can hear what you're saying, and that's always important to be able to have it, being able to identify your lyrics. And then I just put everything has space. Like you guys all know when to give each other space. And what a great song Infested is. So
Thank you. With respect to the vocals, I was going to say that kind of lends itself out of the storytelling. like you want to be able to understand the words. Like that's a point, right? Like if you're gonna even have words printed or telling a story, like hear them. And I think you're right. You can hear them very well. Yeah. I'll give you my real quick rundown of Infested. The immediate black metal progression in my face. And the vocals join in. Everyone dips to the one guitar. Got a tasty riff in there. The second guitar is always providing that melody with either the feedback or melody or volume swells. I love it. I love the work on the toms on the drums on this one. And let's see, just a lot cool drum beat, chord driven outro verse. You know, I go through these things. I almost like, what's this riff?
I love
what's this riff? What's this riff? So I named like all of your riffs. I feel like I just did that with Lucius Fox, and I don't want to do that again to you guys. But yeah, just good stuff. Right off rip, Infested, great track, great opening to your album.
And then, is there any stories or anything about Infested that you guys want to talk about? Or
I'll jump in if you don't mind, everybody. The first two releases were like slow build up, right? So it was like 5 minutes of clean and solace, and then absence. There was a violin, and wind, and I was just like, let's just start it. Like let's just go absolutely start in an aggressive way. So to me, it kind of set the tone because it wasn't the first one that I wrote for the album. It was like I think the second one, but it was just like let's just do this. Like we don't need to mess around. We don't need to keep feeling the atmosphere. We'll get there. Of course, like we're playing it live. It's just a fun opening song, whether it's a set or whether it's on the album. So it kind of, to me, set the tone of like, this is what we could be all the time, but we're not. There's a little bit of restraint there too.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely noticed that too. Like those are conscious decisions because, I mean, what you want to put out 53 minutes of just sounding like that?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's for some people. But like what you guys do is way beyond just 53 minutes of whatever just happened in the first minute and a half of that song, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, exactly.
I get where you're coming from, and that's one thing I love. The Lucius Fox dudes too, of course, but dynamics are so important, man. Like because if you're just blasting for 53 minutes, I am tired of the blast, and I just told you I love rocking the heavy shit,
right?
But I just get tired after 6 minutes of 2-3 minute songs of blasting. It's like, you got something else back there?
Yeah,
like, who else? Is there something else going on back there?
That's so funny.
I got that first part. What is there something else? So
I felt you guys like really leaned into the black metal thing harder this time around because the first 3 songs come out like that. It's not just like song 1. It was like bam, 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 black metal. First 3 songs, like in your face, all 3 songs. So was that a conscious decision, or is that just kind of the way it ended up being?
We didn't write sequentially this time.
No,
really.
They were all kind of from the same era, but it's interesting because Bryan pretty much almost single-handedly did Dominion, which is rare for us, which is track 2.
Yes.
So it's
at
really
3 in the morning.
Yeah,
Honestly,
it was
so.
Thanksgiving evening that he sent that one over. Wow, so it's like all right, but no. So I think it was just a matter of like we're on a similar wavelength. Like it was a similar time. It was winter. So it was cold outside. Maybe that kind of brought in that kind of Gothenburg kind of feel, But yeah, it was just like let's just see where we can take this, and explore kind of new avenues rather than just leaning back to when's the clean part, when's the atmosphere, when's the break, So let's just pedal to the metal, see how far we can take this.
Oh yeah,
Brian, you were going to say something, buddy? You look like you wanted to say something.
That was the Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion.
Yeah, I don't. It was Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Confirming.
But yeah, going into Dominion, cool intro, super tight drumming on this. Like I feel like your drummer, like you've always had the same drummer, right?
Yeah.
His name is Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
I felt like I said, I could hear all you guys' growth on this record, but like him especially, just really leaning into some of those times where it needs to be heavy. He really took that to the level it needed to be, and this is a great example of that. There is kind of like a metalcore melody riff in this one as well too, where, like I said, that might be where the dude said "Shadows Fall." I don't know, but, also repetitive parts for me are a plus because I don't need 9 minutes of riff soup because I don't know. I've said it before. I'm not a soup fan. And then I do want to say when you go into the cleans, especially on this whole record, there's a certain sound. You go into this clean and it's an effect on your clean. And you may have had that before, but it seems a little more pronounced on this record. And I'm instantly hearing Glass Casket when they go into this clean part off of, it's not We Are Gathered Here Today, it's the Dead Man's Diary, I think is the next one. Or like a BT Bam like type clean part. Yep. That clean guitar sound is like basically the same clean guitar sound that is used by both of those bands at certain point. I mean, BT band loosely because they have so many fucking parts, but
The polka
but
part, yeah.
that initial like guitar effect
Yeah.
sound, it's got that long reverb tail. It's kind of got the delay a little bit, and just kind of really feeds
That's
the
me.
atmosphere.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
He's got-
that is all me.
There's like a pedal board with like 5 reverb pedals on it. So
Yeah.
But it's awesome, dude.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Appreciate
fucking
it.
great.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I love it.
I love, a clean's a clean, but when you start just giving them that little extra, little extra on a little reverb tail,
Yeah,
a little.
thanks.
It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be over the top with the FX, but just enough to make it. It's just
Yeah.
not a regular clean guitar.
That's exactly
blasting
it, yeah.
through the amp,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's not a
So-
dry clean. It's got
Yeah.
like a lot of, atmosphere. We're
Yes,
gonna say it
I know,
100
I know,
times,
right?
Yeah.
maybe, but
Yeah.
Here we go.
yeah, but we'll have a little jar and quarter in it, and donate it to kids.
That love
Music
atmosphere.
Kids that love atmosphere. No, the cleans are really good. I love the effects on the cleans.
Go ahead, Nick. You want to say anything about Dominion?
I just walked through all of the riffs and basically narrated the song, but yeah, I guess the biggest takeaway is like when you do make it to those cleans, I love them. I drink them like potable water, man. Just really, really good ice water. I love those cleans. They're really good. They really complement everything else you guys got going on.
Thank you.
Brian, Dominion, that was wrote on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
That was the one.
Thanksgiving 2021.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Okay.
Oh, so you had that one around for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
'Cause I think,
So it was
is that the one that we
After-
played at the other every tour? Or was that?
Yeah, we unveiled this one pretty early.
Yeah.
So
like,
it was
okay.
just pretty
well
much
before
a
it
full
was
song.
recorded.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian
Oh,
brought
yeah.
it to the table, and it was just like,
which is kind of fun to do
Yeah.
because when you go to track those, you can just bang them out.
exactly.
This
we
is-
can
yes.
quickly get through those and get to the more newer, complicated
Right.
stuff.
This is
Yeah.
hot on the heels of Absence being released, and then
Yeah.
you guys roll out with Dominion just like that.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first 3 songs really.
'Cause
This
what-
record came together.
What kind of
quickly.
happens is like with Absence, we finished recording it and the label was like, okay, we'll release it in a year. So then
Yeah.
we're writing something else during that period.
Yes,
okay.
generally.
That makes
Kind
sense.
of ahead of the
Yeah.
the curve. Yeah, so then Resolute, absolutely love this. The riffs are great on this. It's just very intense. Like I said, you're speaking to me a lot of times when you're going into that tense, but you give me the dynamic so I can be broke up from the intense for a
Yeah.
little bit, And then, of course, this is where I'm really saying that the clean guitar effects on this song are absolutely incredible. There's another point I want to make, but we'll wait till the next song so you can go ahead and say whatever on.
Yeah, just this again, another black metal riff to start right in your face. Like I was like, man, these guys really leaned into the black metal thing this time around. This is when I made the Deafheaven connection. I was like, oh, this because before I wasn't quite getting that feeling, and I was like, I'm trying to think, what do these guys sound like? And then it hit me. I was like, oh, I just listened to that Deafheaven like a few months ago, and these guys must know this band because they're sounding a little bit like. I'm not saying you're trying to emulate them, but like you're doing a black metal band of the American variety. So that's when my mind finally made that connection. But then I just kind of narrate everything. But looks like I noted the low growls again. I love when you come in with the growls. It just
Thank you.
it like just captivates me every time because I'm used to like your regular vocal, and then when you go to that one, I'm like, I guess it inspires the question: what makes you decide to go to that low vocal? Is it the lyrical content, or is it just I want to switch it up tonally?
I think it's mostly that. Like I kind of have these moments where I'm like, okay, I'm a standalone vocalist, not playing any instruments. It's got to be fun for me too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Fair.
like I kind of think, okay, does this call for it? And kind of it's just the vibe. Like
Yeah.
if the vibe of the riff, it's like what I hear in my head. That's just what I'm going to do.
Sweet.
So that's just kind of how it ends up.
No, I appreciate it.
Any stories or comments about Resolute?
This was the first one for me that I started writing the album with. So it kind of set the tone for sure. But no, it came together quickly, and it was all on acoustic guitar. Just one December morning, I was like, all right, we got a song. I called Jared. I always call everybody when we write a riff. And say, hey, I did something
I got
today.
one. I got one.
That's awesome. Then we go into Purified. Great intro.
Yeah.
Super strong verse riff on this. Then the chorus type riff that the bass starts on this is great as well.
Thanks.
The bridge, it's really cool, the bridge in this song, because then he goes into the ride and he starts kind of playing a ride almost upbeat
We like that.
into the
Yes,
bridge.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
So
yes.
this is what I want to compliment you guys on and you can chalk this up to the rest of the album as well. So we got the first 2 recordings, and it's kind of like you were saying earlier, right? You were basically saying that, it's like, okay, the clean part will come, then it's the heavy part, then it's the
Mhm.
clean part, then the head. You know what I mean? You kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
I felt like you guys went into a whole different level of your clean atmospheric parts on this, where when Nick was saying earlier, when you guys will hold the line, whether it's Bryan or John or whatever, you just hold the line, one guy will hold the melody and everybody else builds around it. Well, this one, I felt like this album, every one of those was different how you guys approached it. Like there's this one instance that I'll talk to, the bass might come in and the drums will be locked in. Well, the next time we're not doing that, the next clean passage, Bryan, I don't know who does what as far as like, you know, in the passages, but I also noticed like with one guitar going clean, there might be kind of a distorted guitar doing a melody in the background. I felt like we just explored those bridge sections a lot more in this instead of just going clean, heavy, atmosphere, whatever. I felt like you guys really dove into like, let's make each one of these bridge things its own particular piece and take the time to explore it. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but that's just the vibe I got.
Oh yeah, 1000%. That was for me, especially since it was the first song that I contributed to this. It was like, I need to do more. I need to do something. I need to figure out something. And then it just it's kind of like a snowball, right? Just like really rolling down the hill. Like, where is this going to end up? I don't know how big this is going to be. I don't know how expansive. But by the time that it's like truly done to me, it's like, okay, I'm not going to touch this. Also too, for this whole album, I said, I'm not going to write anybody else's parts. You know, like I'm not going to, like even harmonies. I'm like, Bryan, harmonize with me. Thanks. You know, whereas back in the past, I'd be like, what if we did thirds here? You know, like I'm very just like, this time I was very, very non-committal and just like, everybody's going to do something amazing. And I don't want to try to direct them to do something amazing because that's why we're all in a band. We all have the growth. So for me, I guess this whole album was just like, I'm going to write my parts and I'll like just let the seeds grow, you know, and just see what everybody adds on top of that.
I feel like at this point too, with 2 albums already under your belt, kind of everybody knows their role a little bit better. So you can write your part and you just can turn to your mate and say, you know what to do here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the expectation. Now please deliver. Don't make me do your part for you. This is, you know,
in a way nicer way than Nick would say.
Well, do your fucking job, please. Come on.
I will say too, everybody's always done an amazing job. So it's just a matter of like, I guess it's kind of me relinquishing control, right? Which is just like, hey, we're there. You know what I mean? Like we've played together for so long.
We
just
can
like
figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
And you got a vision, man. You know what I mean? I'm sure you do too as well, Bryan. But like when you write something, you got something in your head. You kind of know what the drum beat sounds like. You kind of know what you want for the other guitar. So sometimes it is hard because you're trying to align that initial thought or idea in your mind and hope that the other 4 people can somehow get into your mind and hear the same thing, you know?
Yes.
Nope, I get that completely. But yeah, just let's see. So like I said, I love the ride part and the bridge, and like it's way different than just heavy, fast, heavy, or slow, heavy, slow, heavy. You know, like we're way beyond that now, and I absolutely love that. And then just the outro on this is absolutely fucking fantastic. So
thank you.
This is one, I listened to the whole thing in headphones, so this is one where I kind of started to notice some of the panning of the guitar work maybe in the beginning, where I was like, I hadn't really noticed that before, but I thought that's a nice touch, and I think that's also a credit to your engineer or your producer in the studio to say, well, we're going to put you in the right speaker here, and we're going to put you in the left speaker on the next one, and then you're going to kind of be like dead center as the second guitar enters and starts to provide that atmosphere and fill in some of the space, and now I'm hearing you like kind of center instead of panned, but I noticed that was a nice little touch. And speaking of the ambience and the background sound, it leads me to wonder like how much work goes into developing the stuff behind your riff or behind the chord progression. Like, is that something that takes a lot of time figuring out volume swells or feedback, or you know, or is it just something that started to come natural at this point? You're in your 3rd album. To me, it felt like as I'm listening to it, I was like, this got to be a lot of work. Sounds like a lot of layers. it sounds like so much. Like I'm like, man, he's got the swells. I wonder if there's a lot of takes involved, or if there's this discussion involved with like what that atmosphere should sound like in the back. Yeah, take me through that a little bit if you could.
Bryan, do you want to talk about the feedback first?
So as far as the feedback goes, like I don't know, we work that stuff out in practice, and it's one less thing I have to turn off most of the time. So I'm all for it, and I don't know.
I will say
he's an artist. With
Bryan
feedback.
is
I just
a
love
feedback
feedback.
artist. When we were in the studio, I think there was a day where he spent longer conjuring feedback than he did riffing.
Yes, 1000% agree.
And that's how I felt about it listening to it. I was like, these feedback takes, they probably aren't what you want all the time. Initially, you're probably like, no, it didn't do what it's supposed to do. You know, like I have to maneuver my guitar
He's
pickup
moving around it. Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's right when
a
it's right.
physical activity.
Especially in the studio,
Yes.
because when you're jamming or at a show, it's just like, well, she's feeding back anyway,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I can
Get
just
what you
ride
get.
this wave.
Yeah,
But in
exactly.
the studio, you're like, how do I control this fucking weird noise I'm trying to make? You know?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's exactly the phrase that I had in my notes. I was like, I wonder if it's a situation where like you get what you get, and that's probably live.
Mhm.
But for the studio, now you're like, I know exactly what I want and what I need to get. And I figured that was a part of your recording process that had to take up
For
a
sure.
chunk of time to nail
Yeah.
down. So
Definitely.
kudos. I mean, I loved it. It's great.
Yeah, thanks. And in terms of atmosphere, for me at least, it's often the fastest part, which is my favorite part. Like the riffing's fun. That's why I got into metal was the riffs. But then it's kind of like I really don't listen to much metal. Like I'm a video game music guy. I'm a music score kind of like film score kind of thing. So to me, it's like just layer after layer. I never get tired of that. Like I remember jamming with Lisa back in the day, and she was like, I think we have enough layers. You know, I'm just like, no, we don't. You know, we need more.
Another one.
So to me, it's like if I didn't like it, it would probably be terrible, right? Adding
Yeah.
like, here's
Yeah.
another one with a reverb this setting,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like it might be terrible, but I love it. So it's just the clean takes are often my best takes, just because it's like this is kind of my thing,
Okay.
I guess.
Well, they've really developed on this album,
Thanks.
and they keep it interesting the whole time. So
Yeah,
I
thank you.
really enjoy them, dude. You do a great job. I mean, your whole band is fucking awesome. So,
Mm.
and then we get into adaptation. Kind of a chiller, more of the atmospheric intro, but the layered or the addition of vocals over kind of that heavier. Like I noticed the bass a lot more on this whole
Yeah.
record as
Yep,
well. There's a
definitely.
lot more like the dirty bass, the
Yeah.
standout bass,
Yep.
and I think
Just in
that-
the mix.
Yeah, and I just think that makes a huge impact.
Yeah.
She's not necessarily doing the craziest bass lines or anything, but she knows what to play
Yeah.
and they're
Oh,
the right
Oh, yeah,
notes.
she crushes it.
And sometimes as a bass player, you got to know your role, right,
Yep.
Nick? You
Yeah,
know?
100%. I was enamored with her bass lines because of the way that she moved from who she would be locked in with, whether it was the drummer or the rhythm guitar or even jumping in with kind of more of the melody.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Look, as a bass player, kind of like get in where you fit in, know your role. Nobody needs an over-the-top bassist, especially in your style of music.
Yep,
And that's
agreed.
not to diminish any set of skill that Lisa has. The skill that she really showed me was the songwriting and the understanding of her instrument, where to be, when to be there. And I just kept going back to, she's doing, that's cool. I love what she's doing there. Like she just really gets it.
Yeah.
Locking in with the drums or with the melody of the guitars. I thought it was just a great compliment to everybody else's parts. So Lisa, you did a great job writing these bass lines. I absolutely loved them.
Yeah, she crushed it. It's funny, that song, she really is kind of, in some ways, the melody. Like she's propelling us forward, whereas Bryan and I are just kind of locked in playing the same thing. Like if we didn't have bass, it would just be like the same riff 32 times
Sure.
over. You know, yeah.
Yeah.
So having that bass line was a really, really interesting approach, and I'm so thankful for it. It's also when she uses her bow. That's how you get kind of that growl. And whenever we do it live, people are just like, you know, it's so funny. It's a great experience.
I'll speak to Lisa because she's not here, and she never would, even if she was here. But she really just keeps us together. Like she locks the fuck in. Like I think Lisa's probably made one mistake in the past 4 years, and it was at practice. You know what I mean?
remember.
Like I don't even know if she ever has. But
Yeah.
and she kind of, with locking in like that, she makes it interesting in her own way. Where in one set she'll play with her fingers, a pick, and the bow. You know what I mean? Like she like really mixes it up.
Yeah.
She has a very minimal pedal board, 2 of which are dirty
Mm.
distortion
Yeah,
pedals.
nice.
So,
Yes.
but yeah, she really holds us together. So
She also has all the tabs on her phone in like a grid format
Okay.
for all of our
It's
music.
so weird.
It's
Oh, okay.
awesome. So like we'll like
can't make sense
at
of it.
practice, she'll like bust out her phone and like I'll have to go to her. I'm like, Lisa, what are you doing here? Like, how are you doing this riff? She'll be like, oh, and then it's like a library of all of our riffs on her phone at all times.
Nice
Which is just like,
resource.
thank you. Yeah, she crushes it.
That's badass.
I love the tone.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love the volume that she's at in the mix. And
Agreed.
yeah. Really, it allows you guys to do other things on the guitar because if you got enough dirt on that bass, it's basically a rhythm guitar at this
Exactly.
point. And
Yeah.
she does a great job of just driving the song when needed.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, so we're still talking about adaptation. I
Yeah.
said just kudos on the slower parts on this, the layers, just how excellent it is. vocals are really awesome on this one, man. They really stood out to me.
Noted the cool low vocals myself.
The Tom Phil outro is awesome, where he's like building it up, and it just really progresses the song into like a great crescendo at the end to like kind of just put a cap on it. And I just really like how you guys built out of that.
Thanks.
Yeah, basically everything Jay just said.
Podcast over.
Yeah.
Yep. Pack it in.
Yeah, I did note the Tom work as well. I like how, and this is another instance where I think I want to make sure I get it right. So it's just another instance of where you guys will have a line and everything revolves around it. I love that it would start like one guitar line and then everybody dances around it. Just another example of that exists in this song as well, where everybody kind of comes back around, or ultimately the riff will progress into something new. But just a great job of everybody dancing around that one line.
Thank you.
And then we jump into Erode. Layered beginning is absolutely fantastic. Assuming that's all you. Layers.
It's me. It's funny. Yes, it's me playing it, but Jimmy actually wrote that riff. Jimmy, our drummer, brought the riff to the table, and it turned out to be the most. It's funny. Jimmy like writes a riff, and it's just like he's like the indie guy. Like he's listened to so many genres and bands I've never heard of, and then he'll bring like the heaviest riff, and I'm just like, how did this happen? But yeah, so we brought that riff to the table, and I was like, there's something here. And then I added, 45 effects later, and then I'm like, this is it. This is us.
I think this is a great example of what I was saying earlier, though, not to be too redundant, but just picking the right notes and not overcomplicating things, because those layered sections could get a little hairy if you just try to put too much shit in there. It's like if there's like 10 things doing something simple, it sounds cool, but you couldn't have like 10 things doing something complex. I mean, unless you're scoring a movie or something, that's way different, right? Like a whole orchestra or whatever. But in the context of One With The Riverbed and this song, I think it's a great choice. Again, the band is all on the same page with the vision. You can tell by this point in the record where it's like, man, these guys are a well-oiled machine. These guys know what the hell they're doing. Layered vocals on this song, I put are awesome and a welcome sound in my ears, because I kind of wondered that too, where Nick talk about you implementing the lows.
Yep.
But then now you're like implementing some lows, doing a little bit of layering and stuff like that. So now is someone else trying to pick that up live, or is it still just you doing vocals?
I just do it.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I don't do them both, but I just roll with it.
Show me that trick. That's I noticed that this is the first time we're actually like layering vocals. It seemed like everything else was just the one single vocal, and then on this album there were a couple of spots where we finally do like, I'm gonna do two vocals, and it was audible. It was obvious there was like more than one vocalist there.
Yeah, I never want to layer them the same. Like it has to be radically different if I'm going to do it. And there's just a couple of points in the album where I was like, you know what, might benefit from it, so I just did it.
Yeah, I think it sounds great, dude.
Love it.
Just one extra little thing, if you can find that every time you guys write something, as a musician or a band or whatever, a little something different than the last time, just keep building on the formula. But then if you can introduce things like that way I just know I'm not listening to another 40 minutes of the same thing you guys put out before, but yet I still know what I'm expecting. And that's always a hard line to trot down when you have fans or are in a band, because then you start getting into that weird territory where, do they always just sound the same? And then people are pissed because you don't sound the same, so it's just always that weird thing. End of day, just do it because you like to do it. So it doesn't really matter. But, is that all you had to speak on that then, buddy?
Well, for Erode, I noticed there was a really cool like snare ride pattern around the 3-minute mark. So just a really cool touch from Jimmy on the drums. And I know at some point along the way, I think it's yet to come here. I just, at some point, I was like, Jesus Christ, this fucking drummer. Like, this guy's so good. He's good, but I think to Jay's point, too, like, you could really tell the feeling of the drums on this album had grown. This guy does some really cool stuff. Like, when he's not doing the blast and your garden variety black metal stuff. There's only so much you can do.
Right.
With blast beats or whatever, but when he's accenting all of your clean passages or your more metal-esque riffs, I just think he does a great job. A lot of cool touch. I love the choices that he makes.
Agreed.
With where to either maybe do a double kick pattern or just whatever he's doing up top. I think however he works the snare or decides to do a tom beat, just a lot of really good decisions on Jimmy's part, and I was fascinated, especially as we get to the third album. I was like, I could steal this drummer for myself because he's so backbone, but he's got so much skill up top and with the footwork. Like,
oh yeah, it's such an essential part of our music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really took us full circle from writing in my apartment. It was just like, the way that he propels us forward in the creativity is absolutely wild. Because oftentimes like we talked about earlier too, we have a vision for how you want the drums to be or how you want the drums to sound like. And sometimes that aligns and then sometimes it doesn't, but it's always better than what I thought it would be. So he's incredible.
Yeah. I think we really benefit with him too, because he has probably the most different influences than the rest of us.
Yes.
Like, he probably listens to 10 to 20% of the metal that we listen to. And I think we benefit from that. I think it shows up in like the tom work and stuff like that. He just thinks about it differently.
Right.
And I think it works for us.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, because just going back to the point I made earlier as well, like the first 2 records, that you guys had, like I said, I was like trying to put my finger on. I'm like, well, this is kind of like indie, like at least drum wise, like indie rock almost, right?
Yeah.
Well, on this one, he's like really bringing the metal parts. Like, yeah, he blasts a little bit before, but there's more blast on this. There's more double bass, but not to the point of overdone or redundancy, right? Like, he throws it in, and it's like, oh, this is a welcome sound because now I feel like this is the rounded sound that we were kind of almost going for from the beginning, right? So just moving on, Burden. Right off the bat, the tom fill drum part on this is super tight. The chord progression is absolutely epic on this one. Clean part is different again this time, which I absolutely loved. Another example of you guys growing and changing for the better, showing your skills. Another way to be creative. Nice bass and drum locking in. This is the part I was talking about where you go into that atmosphere, but instead of this time, she's playing with his kick drum. It's like gong, 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 gong. Like, she spaces it out. And that's kind of something that I didn't hear her do before. And it gives her something new and interesting than just following like whatever one chord progression while you, whether Brian's doing feedback or whatever.
Exactly. It's funny you say that because this song in particular was the most challenging for me to like. It's like through all those riffs on the wall, and then I'm like, what did I do? Like, it was like this fear, just like this is totally uncharted territories in some way. But yeah, the locking in with Lisa and Jimmy especially is just so out of our wheelhouse, but it just like fits. It was kind of shocking when she was doing it. I'm like, I love this. This is very, very different from kind of that sustained, that long kind of. We are all of a sudden like punchy. It was really cool.
Oh yeah.
I noted that at some point the drummer moves from like this steady beat, and I got just kidding, black metal bitches. He was kind of doing like it in the pocket, and then it just kind of jumps over to like this black metal thing, and I think he went back and forth like steady beat, and then just kidding, black metal bitches. I just thought it was hilarious, like, and that's where I made the note. I was like, this fucking drummer though, god damn it. That was my note. I was like, this fucking drummer is just impressing me nonstop. And I think this is where I noted, this is the song where I actually noticed the vocal layers. I don't know if they were in fact on the previous track where we were layering the vocals. This is where it jumped out to me, where it's like, oh, that's definitely a layered vocal right there. So that was my first time noticing it. And I don't know. I think maybe it's the next song. I'll wait because I'm reading my notes and I don't see it on this one. But yeah, I fucking loved it. It was great.
Yeah, my only other note was like the song, that song's a journey.
Thanks.
There's quite. We were going to the mountain and back on that one for sure. We were one ring to rule them all. Then we get into the last song, Sunlight. I put 9 minutes LOL.
It's funny. I did the exact same thing. I saw it. I was listening to it today to get ready for this because I never really listened to our music. I'm like, this is 10 minutes. Like, what is happening here?
I was like, man, fucking someone's got to do it. It's not me, but someone's got to write a 9-minute. But then fucking the Lucius boys are over here writing. What was that? July 14
plus. Yeah.
So them guys, they drink their caffeine.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, this one's got some teeth. It's pissed. The bridge trem riff is just another example of an epic but not overly done riff where it's like, man, the notes you choose are so fucking epic on this, but they're not overly complicated. Like I said, they're not like this crazy scale. You're running all these notes, but it's like, okay, these 6 notes or whatever, they fucking sound awesome together.
Thank you.
And then just like there's almost another metalcore kind of like after the build up riff, which is like, to me, I felt like before you guys had almost none of these like metalcore, the Gothenburg type riffs we talked about. But on this one, definitely there is some in it. It's awesome because once again, they're not overly done. Slow chord groove is just a mood on this, and then dude does the double bass fade out on it. and for me, he doesn't play a lot of double bass, honestly. I mean, he blasts, but a lot of times it's single-footed blast, too. It's not the double locked in, and it's almost kind of like the Euro blast. But
it's way more impactful.
Yeah, but to hear him do that double bass, like on this fade or whatever, it like just makes that so interesting and cool. So what a great song. What a great song to end with. You guys really put your stamp on this one, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, another great song. I got all these notes on what's happening in it, but I guess the one question I had about it was 20 seconds of silence to end it. Is that just like a weird thing that you guys are unaware of, or like I'm like,
Don't even get me started.
I was like, the song was over, and then I was like, oh, well, they must be doing like the hidden track thing because there's 20 seconds remaining. I was waiting for something to come in.
There's a lot of weirdness that happened between the label and us, and I think like there was a lot of, hey, we need this file type change, we need this to happen, we need this to happen, and I think after like the 5th time, it just got kind of weird and. Just how it went out.
Some stuff got lost in translation there.
I get it for sure.
Yeah. And I did notice some curiosity too at the end of track 6. I noticed there was just like a weird noise at the end.
Yeah,
like,
we're aware of it.
Yeah, but I didn't know if that was intentional or if it had meaning.
I don't think so.
Okay, I was like, oh, we probably could have rolled that sound wave back a little bit. I was just like, I thought it must have some meaning because it stayed, but it doesn't. It didn't like. I was just like, that's weird.
Yeah. Chris is a wild man where he loves string noises.
He does like that.
Just something. And so for years, it's been like, he'll use like a watermark or something. It'll just be like, and it's like, oh, okay. But at that point, it's like, I'm so out of the loop.
You've done your part
exactly,
at this point. I figured.
Did what I could.
Yeah.
I did love the double bass as it fades out the song. I thought that was a nice touch. And his double bass choices are very impactful, or you guys aren't doing double bass a lot. And look, I mean, we've listened to a lot of metal and we hear a lot of double bass, but I was listening to a band that I really like, just dropped a new album this year, and I was like, man, they're so good. But they went into this part of the song where the double bass started, and then double bass was going steady for like 2 minutes. And I'm like, man, if we just would have did a backbone beat for a little bit and then added like some sporadic pitter patter and then build it up into like the steady double bass, that would have been cool. But when you do it for 2 straight minutes, and a lot of bands are unwittingly guilty of this, it's like, oh, we can double bass. Well, it's like, I get bored of it, and that's all I can hear. And it's just that's the main thing that I'm hearing. It's just like bassy cacophony drums going, and you have this fantastic guitar melody going, and you're kind of burying it in the mix with just double bass going. So for Jimmy to just say, well, we'll do some double bass eventually, but we're not going to do a full album of double bass because it just gets boring, to be perfectly honest with you. But he made great choices when to use it, so I loved it. Very impactful.
Yeah. So overall, guys. Fucking awesome record.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I mean, it's all good. It's all good stuff. But this last one, I think, just seeing your maturation and just seeing your growth, and obviously you got something really to be proud of here, man. Because it sounds excellent. You guys performed it well. You wrote some fucking cool shit, man. So that's always welcome here on our show. Chris did a great job at the studio too, minus whatever little fucking.
Yeah, I didn't mean to call out Chris.
Yeah.
I was wondering, like the silence or the noise thing. I was just wondering if those had some intentionality.
No,
to
I think
them.
it just happened.
They
got weird in translation.
Yeah, it's nothing
really
that a listener, it wouldn't detract from listening to it.
Yeah.
Those are just the sort of things that when I'm listening to it and in depth, I'm like, oh, that's curious. I have to ask, like, what was the decision? What was the thought there? But if it was just like an anomaly and it's no big deal, then it's that too. It doesn't take away from the album whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. So can we talk a little bit about the writing process? I know we touched a little bit about it, but I'd like to dive a little deeper at exactly how that looks like and how each one of you guys approach that.
Yeah. So I'll start. Generally speaking, most of our writing is in person, which is awesome. At the practice space, it's just like sometimes somebody will bring an idea, sometimes it'll just be noodling that, you know, when we're warming up kind of thing. And then it's just a matter of if it's me bringing something to the table, it's like I'll just keep playing it until someone like acknowledges it. It's like, hey, you know, kind of thing. But generally, like I have a good feeling if it's going to work before I start. You know, I'm not going to like really try hard if I don't like it, kind of thing. But that being said, it's like I really want to make sure that it will fit with our vibe and what we're going for. But if it doesn't come together quickly, like I'm going to scrap it. I'm going to run away like a feral animal. Like, you know, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to try to make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of trying to be tasteful in that.
Brian?
Yeah, so like John said, we do most of our writing at practice. And I mean, we record whatever we have for that day, and then Jared sends it to us. And
I'll
sit on,
listen to it over the week or whatever.
that's
I'll just sit at my computer and work on stuff and try and come up with something to add to it or whatever. And
I feel like that's a really great resource to like record your practices and then listen to them back. I know Jay's a big advocate of that. I'm a big advocate of that. You should be recording your practices to see where I can improve or what I don't like upon just listening to it. There's playing it and you're always just trying to focus on your playing and getting it right. But then it's when like Marty Friedman from Megadeth fame, he'll say, you know, 90% of learning music is listening to music. You know, so you set the guitar down, put the headphones on, listen to your practice back and say, oh, I don't like that. Or we got to change that, or that could be cleaner. What if we do this instead? So any band listening, I would say set up some sort of recording situation at your practice spot so that you can hear these things back over the time.
You do it just on your phone, Jared?
Phone, or I can just have like a little Tascam handheld recorder.
Oh, nice.
That
That's what I have too. Those actually sound like with the XY mic on it. Yeah. Dude, those sound fucking great as long as they don't peak. You can hear everything.
Exactly.
Dude. Like, those are a lifesaver just to get a new song or whatever, you know. Like
then it benefits me to like listen back and think about how many vocals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
So you might bring like a riff, or when they acknowledge the riff, you might,
like, exactly. So
or St. Brian, you might have a riff, and then you guys just kind of start jamming on it and seeing where it goes. Is that what that looks like?
Exactly. And I have to pull the riffs out of Brian. So that being said, like
so
I'm
I usually
more,
send them.
Brian is like
I'm
an
not
anonymous
one to bring
sender.
it to practice typically.
He's very shy with
he's a shy guy with his riffs. Like
Not really.
whereas I'm just like, hey, here's my riff. Look at my riff.
Yeah, look at all my riff.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so it's if it doesn't come together quickly, then it's like, okay, was it a weird day, or do we need to come back, or do we abandon it completely? But Brian though, and we've had like some like really lucky times where we just bring like a full song almost, where it's just like, hey, here's this riff, here's that riff, and then once everyone kind of puts their stamp on it and gives their feedback, it'll morph over time. So it's really a collaborative process, which is, especially with this album, is much more collaborative than the others in my mind.
Yeah.
So when you bring a riff, is that mostly the like heavier metal type riffs, and then you build off that, or do you sometimes? I know you said you're a big advocate of the layers and the clean stuff, which is easy for you. Is that also just stuff you're like, check this out too?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's both. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, because sometimes it's just a riff, and it's like, hey, here is this an outro? A riff being like, even if it's an atmospheric riff, let's say.
Okay.
So it's just a section like, hey, is this good? Like, can we use this kind of thing?
I feel like that was my question. I was just about to ask: Are we writing the songs like front to back? Are we kind of like inside out, or just is that something you analyze together in the room? Like,
Definitely.
Do we need something before this?
Exactly.
What is this part? But as long as everybody agrees that it's a part you want, go from there.
And sometimes you have to arm wrestle them. Sometimes people are like,
I was with the new track that we have. I've been going back and forth on how it starts. But everybody else seems to be on the same page, so I'm like, that's what it is.
Sometimes you got to take that one. Huh?
Yeah. And it's not like I don't like it. It's just that analyzation. You know what I mean? It's thinking about it. It's like, maybe I'm not catching the vibe type of thing, and then we ended up playing it, and I didn't have a problem anymore. So
okay,
And I also feel like if you don't have something to add to it, if you don't have a better idea, then it's just kind of time to take your medicine and just go with it. You know what I mean? And maybe after doing it a few times their way, something will come to mind.
Exactly.
But until such a time, if 4 out of 5 people like it, you kind of have to start to all right, they love it.
Yeah.
I'll love it because they love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, so do you guys have certain like rehearsals and then just certain writing sessions? Is that what that looks like?
Thursday night.
That's when the magic happens.
That's sweet.
So, but when you get there, you're like, well, we got a show, so we're going to rehearse, or
That's
exactly.
or time to write some shit. Do you dedicate that and say, hey, we're going to write today, or is it all kind of free flow?
It's just
flow, or what does that look like?
It's kind of a matter of what's just on the docket. Like right now, we don't have any shows until we tour in October. So this is like a great time for us to like explore and kind of write stuff.
Mhm.
Then when we get closer, we'll probably start running the set and then put a pause on the writing and then just come back to that when we have time again.
It's kind of like making the healthy decisions in your life. It's like, hey, best intentions. We're going to write tonight. We're going to do it. And then you get there and it's like, I just want some fast food. You know what I mean? It's just like, let's just play some songs. Let's have some laughs. My brain's fried. So it's just a matter of you really have that best intention to really, I'm going to write. But then also too, it's like, if it's not flowing, it's not flowing.
Yeah,
you really can't force this kind of stuff.
No.
So it's very curious, but that's when it's like, hey, Brian, what do you have? You know what I mean? Like, I'm brain dead over here. Like, what? I know you have a riff. So like, don't hide it from us.
He's like, I'll get it to you at 3 a.m.
Exactly.
Don't worry about it.
It'll
So
show
Thursday
up.
nights practice. Because it seems like it would be kind of a longer approach if you're just kind of bringing one off riff, 2 off riff to practice, and then we're like, we got to flesh out this like Nick was saying, that average 7-minute song or whatever. It seems like that could be a process, but. Hey, when the riff faucet's on, sometimes you got to take advantage of it, fill the cup up quick.
That's exactly it. And we try to do new things, and we really don't want to linger on a riff for too long, because it's just like with these atmospheric parts, it's easy to be like, half the song is done and it's 2 riffs, it's like 2 sections. So it's like, what would I want to listen to? And oftentimes when we record, like our practices, the songs are much longer, and then we kind of trim them down when it's time to record it. So it's just like, or maybe it's even fixing like the BPM or something to where it's just like, we really try to not be exhausted with ourselves.
Are these all different BPMs across, or are we trying to stick to one?
Oh, they're all different.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially on this
That's what
one.
I thought.
Yeah,
but,
definitely. It'd be awesome if we stuck to like 120 the whole time.
Well, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, sometimes you can halftime something and you don't really know unless you really put the click to it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's a pre-recording process to like sit down and figure out what the BPMs are before we even go there, just to save time and money.
Yes, tempo
exactly.
changes on grid and all that stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Assuming, then you guys do play to a click then, just as far as studio wise, right?
Yeah.
Nothing like that live.
Nope.
No
No,
in-ears,
no.
no click. You
No.
guys just raw dog that shit.
Absolutely.
Some
Yeah.
amps,
Yes.
some amps and a drummer and a
Yeah.
fucking singer and a bass player, boy.
Yeah. Monitors.
That's old school at this point.
Yeah, it is. I was gonna say, as much as I'm a huge advocate of the in-ear pieces and the click track in your ear, I love a band that can go out there and do what you guys do and not need that stuff, not need the laptop or the in-ear monitors, and just
Thanks.
A big part of it that really benefits us is when I'm booking the tour that we're going to go and I need a show on a Monday, we can play anywhere.
yeah,
Like,
Right.
if you got a living room, just
Yeah.
we can
Yeah.
set up the amps, play the
Yeah.
drums, and call it good. It
Yeah.
does benefit us a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to show the bonus or the plus side of doing either, like the in-ear monitors and the click, or raw dogging it with
Yep.
just the instruments only.
Yep.
When you're doing it that way, any venue's fair game.
Yep.
You're not limited to where you can play.
Yep.
When you're doing the big rig with the laptop and the click track and the backing tracks, well, now you're kind of hamstrung to what kind of PA they got, what kind of sound they can run. So
Oh,
this way, you guys can do anything you want. That's awesome.
I do want to touch on what I didn't touch on earlier too, the guitar tone itself. It's not really a metal guitar tone, even on the heavy parts. It's very gain reduced, which you've been to the studio. I know the studio. I've recorded a lot of stuff. I mean, that benefits in the long run for clarity and note purpose of the guitar playing.
Yep.
Does make it a little more challenging when you're playing fast to hide all that, bury that shit under overdrive. But I did want to just particularly speak on that. Is there a reason why you kind of don't go a little more gain than what you guys do, especially on the heavier parts? Not that it's needed.
Please start. Yeah, Jared's obsessed with our tone.
So, I'm not saying it's needed, because you guys do a great job and it sounds good, and for those reasons I just spoke on. But
So before I want to set it up, so John likes single coils.
okay,
He plays single coils,
Yeah.
and as long as I played with him, gain on 0.5, 1 or below. He's never single coils, no gain. Bryan, active humbuckers.
Oh, okay.
6505
Yeah.
noise gate
Yeah.
cranked.
Yeah.
So it's been, I love it because I hear it. I'm like, wow, this is fucking cool. You know,
Yeah.
he's like gaining it out. He's got this like angelic clarity kind of, and I've just always loved that mix that they're doing. That's all I want to say.
No, I appreciate that. It's funny, tying it all back together. There was an interview in Guitar World in 2004 talking about guitar tone with Shadows Fall.
Here we are.
The guys were talking about
4D chess.
dialing back the gain, and you get the clarity and the
Yeah.
mids. And I was just like a 13-year-old guitarist. I'm like, Shadows Fall said it, so I got to do it.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of happened that way. But yeah, I really go for that clarity, and I really want sometimes I would love to just have like when I play Brian's guitar, just mess around. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
like
fucking
I am
harmonic.
hitting some crazy stuff.
Going off the rails.
Yeah, so it's always a good time. But then it's like, I don't want to be like an ice pick though too. That's the other thing. That's the fear, is that like the highs are too high kind of thing. So I really try to dial it in and have Jared's ear as well, because I'm too close to the project. You know, it's just like, you insulting my tone.
Yeah.
You know, where it's just like it's my fingers.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It's
so-
all here.
Exactly. So yeah, I trust his vision completely. I kind of give him the tent post of where we want to go.
Well, that's awesome, man. So we talked about practicing on Thursdays. We got a tour coming up. When was the last time you guys played a show? What was the last one you played?
I think it was Pyramid Scheme, right?
Yeah,
we
2
played
weeks
with-
ago.
We
yeah.
played with Conan. At
Oh,
Pyramid
okay.
Scheme.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. It was
Yeah.
a good show.
And now
fun.
you guys are going on tour in October,
The
Um,
4th to the 11th.
Saturday, October 4th.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, before we get into that, can we talk a little bit about the label, Dusktone, and how
Yeah.
that came about? I was kind of looking through the roster. There's a few bands, that I noticed in here. But there's quite a few bands on there, but I don't know if it's just because sometimes with labels, they'll associate that band if it's just a distribution thing as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I seen, there's a whole, Dark Funeral is on Dusktone. It says, they're on the roster. So
Yeah. I think right now they're doing a re-release for him right now.
Okay. That makes sense. then.
But Dusktone kind of, I think I was aware of them. I know they have a band on the roster called, I think it's Anism or something. They're like an Italian, I might be saying it wrong. That's why I say that. I think they're like an Italian atmospheric black metal band.
Yep. Anism
and-
from
yeah.
Italy. Yep. I see it.
Really good band. I think I was aware of them through that. And this time when we recorded the album, it was like, let's just record it, write it, I'll just send it out. See if anybody wants to help us out. And I sent it around, months and months went by. And one day they just replied. And I'm like, let's do it. You know, because it's helpful because they're in Italy too. And it's like there is a handful of people interested in buying our stuff over there. And, you know, they can send it over there. They send us some. And it just kind of just worked out. So.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. Do you have requirements with them? Is there something that they, what exactly are your parameters with working with them?
I don't really know.
Is it more just them helping you like distribute your stuff, or be associated with some of the other bands?
Exactly.
On that? Okay, I
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I'm
They-
looking. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say there was an interest in us specifically when I was talking to the guy because we did stick out a little bit more on the roster because they have a lot of like straightforward black metal on the roster, and they're like, yeah, it'd be really cool to have you guys on there, and I'm like, well, we like that music too, so let's do it.
Yeah, I was just laughing because there's pictures of every one of these bands on this label.
Yeah.
Every one of these motherfuckers got some corpse paint,
paint,
the fucking
yes.
the shrouds, look at just the leather,
Spikes.
and then
Yes.
you got the dudes from One With The Riverbed, just like, yep, motherfucker, this is us, and everybody else is just all painted up and shit. Like, I'm like, hey, that's cool though. That fucking means a lot. But it's just funny. Everybody's just trying to look so fucking evil and hard and all. This one band's grave with a view. They even got a noose in the fucking picture and everything. It's just like, I gotta love metal, man. They might be a cool band, it's just funny.
I exist somewhere in between because I respect going on with your jeans and your t-shirt on the stage and just, hey, this is what I'm comfortable in and just all I want to do. But as I grow and and I go to the shows more and more, I'm like, I kind of want to see a stage spectacle. So
Yeah.
is that any consideration for you guys in terms of like how you present yourselves live on stage? Or is it just like wear what you're comfortable in because we're just about the music only? And all is fair. I'm just kind of curious where you guys sit with that. I've seen
don't
some
think
pictures.
so.
Yeah, you're just...
I think we're just gonna always do. We're going through this weird phase right
Yes.
now where like 3 different people have said we're the nerdiest looking band they've ever seen.
Yeah, we're
In, like,
we're
the
in
last
middle of
week?
something. Yes,
Yeah.
we're getting a lot right now.
But yeah, we
Have
just
they
kinda,
not seen any like of the metalcore bands?
I was gonna say,
It's
no
always a
offense, but
compliment.
they all look like
Yes.
you, brother.
Yes. It's always a compliment, like when they say it. But I think we've never really talked about it. I think we just kind of show up and do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Jared's face pops up, you know you're about to get fucking hammered.
Yeah, you should be more scared of him than
Yes,
the fucking
exactly.
black metal guy.
when the guy comes out and he's got the eyeglass wear on and he looks like just jeans and a t-shirt, I know I'm about to get pummeled in the pit.
He's gonna fuck you up, dude.
I'm way more scared of Jared's showing up in a band than I am the corpse paint and the spikes and the leather. That stuff makes me laugh, and I get it. It's entertaining and it's fun to look at. But when you guys come out, you're like, we don't need all that because you're about to get punched in the face with these black metal riffs so hard.
One notable thing is we're at a point where we cannot fit a single additional item in our fucking van
Oh,
at this
gross.
point.
Yeah.
So,
the wardrobe change.
so there's nothing else.
No
going
little
in there.
makeup kit.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
It's fucking.
I'm
put it
like-
on top.
like we have more merch than what would fit on the table that we can bring, and I was like in the van, like measuring underneath the
Oh my God.
rear bench seat to see if I could find a bin that slides
Oh,
in there.
yeah.
I did,
Oh yeah.
but
I got a question for you guys. Thinking about the live audience, do you ever feel like maybe sometimes just like when you play live, some of them parts that you go into the clean atmosphere, do you think maybe like they might go on too long? Or you guys don't care because that's what you want to do?
Yeah, that's a good call. It's really funny you say that because we sometimes like alter the songs a little bit. Like Wither, for example, the first one on Solace, it's like 5.5 minutes of just slow build. We played that on tour a few years ago, and we kind of repurposed it to about 2 minutes of clean, and then just kind of it's kind of. To me, it's
Just
not
depends.
sacrificing the song. It's
Right.
like we're hitting the high points, we're getting the vibe across, we're taking a quick breather if we need it, whatever, and then it's right back to kind of the music. But for me, it's like I have a great sense of ownership of that, and if Bryan was like, "Hey, let's cut the songs in half," I'd be like, "Hold up, brother." But for me, it's like definitely don't want to be self-indulgent, and I think we're all kind of aware of that. But that being said, like, I don't want to roll up playing a 14-minute song, like opening with a 14-minute
Right,
song, and there's a
right.
long
Yeah.
break in it. So if
Phantom's
we can,
Glance,
yeah,
the 14-minute
yes.
one, we did make it like an abridged version
Yeah.
for live because there's a huge chunk of that's just like sample and
Yes.
like guitar textures. And sometimes you can't even do it live.
Right.
Yes,
So,
yeah,
so we made a,
Yeah.
a
absolutely.
live
I was gonna
version.
say, it certainly it serves on wax. On the album, do all 7
Yep.
minutes.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about, hey, you guys are only getting like 25, 30
Exactly.
minutes,
Yeah.
we got to start we got to start trimming some fat.
Yeah.
Even
Yes.
if, like, I know listeners of music, it's not dance music, right? We're not coming out to your guys' show to cut a rug, right?
Yep.
We're here to listen to music and bob our head and shoegaze and stare into space. But also, you probably want to present more material,
Mhm.
And when you're doing 7-minute songs, well, what 3 songs
Yeah,
are we
exactly.
playing tonight?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's the same thought I had. I was like, man, these guys' music is so good. I bet they like are frustrated at having to make set lists because of the the limited amount of time that you get. Unless you know you're getting 45 minutes, if you're only getting 30 in your catalog, like you guys got about 3 hours worth of material, like give or take. I don't know,
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
Well, you only got 3 releases, but they're long songs. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's got to be a bear to make a set list. So
Yes.
what does that look like? I guess.
I love making the set list, but oftentimes my set is like way different than everyone else's set. Like I try to really, I want to be like the greatest hits kind of thing. It's just like, I want every set to be like, hey, we're comfortable with this. This is our best song. But that also doesn't push us forward. So pretty much everybody else is like, hey, we need to play it. Like, let's play other songs. You know what I mean? Like, whereas I'm just fine, like eating the same bowl of cereal every day kind of thing. It's like, it's a very, very different thing. And to me, it's funny because I'm like so adventurous in the studio. But then like when it's time to play live, I'm just like, ooh, I don't know if that'll translate, So it's like oftentimes the 4 out of 5 people feeling something is everyone feeling something about like one of my parts. I'm like, oh no, that's terrible. Let's never play that live kind of thing. So it's an adventure, but I love coming up with a set list because it's truly a collaborative environment.
We like John's guitar parts better than John does, I think. Yeah, I think right now we got to, in general, we do about a 5-song set.
Okay.
And I think the one we're doing right now is like 33 minutes. We can get it done.
Yeah.
So we're reaching back to a track or two from Absence and Solace in our set these days still, or
I don't think any Solace.
No
right
Solace,
now.
yeah.
No Solace?
But just
Every once in a while we slip one in.
yeah, exactly. But right now it's pretty much Succumb facing, so it's just kind of pushing it that way.
yeah. I mean, if I had a new release, I would only want to play new music off of it.
Right.
I'd be like, you guys, we did that, we've done that, we've done that plenty. But also, if you got fans that are coming out, they're like, hey, we missed the old stuff, and you kind of like, you feel like you want to keep those people coming out, but at the same time, you're like, hey guys, like just listen to it at home because I'm sorry, like I love you and I'm glad that you like it, but these days, like it's about the new stuff. I mean,
there's some like we've never not played Thaw off of Absence live. I don't think. Have we ever taken it off the set?
I don't think so.
Like, since it went in.
Yeah.
nice.
I think it's been on since.
It's usually a mix of Absence and Succumb right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 or 2 from Absence.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I asked that question, just to see how it translates to an audience. But I think for you guys too, it's like knowing it's like, so you know what a customer avatar is for a business? So like you know your ideal customer, right?
Yeah.
So you guys just need to know your audience,
Yes.
which is kind of tough for the band at your caliber right now, because sometimes you kind of take the shows you can,
Exactly.
and you might play with whoever
Yep.
that's not like you guys. So we're going to see a show, but if you're on a bill that's with 3 other bands on a tour or something that's more like you guys, the people that are coming are gonna expect these long 9-minute opus. So it's kind of one of those things you got to kind of pick and choose, and then know who you're speaking to at the same time, right?
Yeah. We are in a weird spot where sometimes we end up on shows where we're the only band that uses a clean channel, for example.
Oh, yeah.
And then other times we can be the heaviest band on a show.
Yeah.
And even the Conan show we just played, they were like, it was on the Pyramid Schemes, like, hey, we're looking for an opener or whatever.
Yep.
I went to our group chat and I'm like, should we play this? Or like, is this our spot or whatever? But apparently it worked out pretty good. So,
That's good.
but yeah, it's definitely like a consideration where it's like, is this the spot for us?
Right.
But also we're just going to play whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's so specific to
Yeah.
you guys, because that's what I mean, fuck, dude, we've interviewed so many bands at this point now and talked to so many people and, been in bands ourselves. And, there's just, I mean, Michigan is just so full of badass bands and they're all themselves. I mean, like the Fox Boys, Bronson Arm. I mean, there's just, we could go on and on. Throne, they're their own fucking thing. Recorruptor. I mean, we go on. Tunnel of Love that we just had on last week. I mean, it just goes on, and every band's kind of their own thing. There's not a lot of bands around here that's like, oh, that band sounds just like the other band. It's like, fuck, dude. Like,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I love about all the bands we've talked to, or at least the bands that are out there doing shit. There might be some dudes jamming in their garage that, you know what I mean? They might not be doing shit, but you guys are doing shit, So that's the difference. Bands that are been around since, what'd you say, 17? You guys kind of started this, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, fuck, dude, you're going on a nice little clip here. 7 years or 8 years almost, right?
That's wild, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talent in this state. I mean, we're not as big as California or New York or what have you, but I feel like there's an immense amount of talent between all the bands that we've had on the show and diversity. So it's always cool to meet all of these bands, and you've got a lot of different sounds across the board. So I definitely consider you guys one of the best things happening in the state right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
no doubt.
There's no band. I mean, there's some death metal bands, so you could be like, this is death metal band A, B, and C. Even my band, like, we probably could sound like other, like, hardcore / because that's just what we do, because it's the same thing. We just do that because that's what we want to do. We're not trying to do something else, but there's no band out there that's doing anything, at least that I'm aware of, that sounds like you guys. So hang your hat on that. Same with the Lucius Fox. I mean, no one's fucking touching those dudes with a 10-foot pole. So with what they're doing, but so you want to tell me a little bit about, obviously one of the questions we always ask, are you going on tour? But it sounds like you already did a tour. We're going into this tour we just talked about. I know I kind of chopped that idea, but we can get back into it. Saturday, October 4th, we're starting. Now, is this like the longest tour you guys done? Is this, what does that look like? Or
so it's 8 days, and we're pretty much capped at 8 days. Like we just life work,
Yeah, for sure.
We've done, last year was 8 days. Was the year before that 8 days?
I think so. We're pretty much like a summer vacation week kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Fall vacation. Yeah.
This is the first one we've ever. Yeah, this is the first one we've ever done, like the fall, and we're going south. we're starting in Nashville.
Oh, nice. They're gonna love you.
Yeah.
Music Town.
We've been there before, but we haven't gone lower. So we're like starting in Nashville, and then we're going to kind of loop around. We're going to try to hit North Carolina and like those kind of places. I book them all. It's totally a DIY effort. So,
Are we like throwing darts at the board, hoping to get lucky with the venues and the audiences, or do we know what we're in for in terms of like what that venue brings in for crowds?
Usually, I mean, these days, 9 times out of 10, like if a venue is like, yeah, let's do it, they also want you to find the bands, which I don't hate, because it's like, oh, I can just find some cool bands to play with, and then we can all have fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a lot of what's happening.
So you are aware of bands coming out of these areas? You're doing like some
I just
diligence?
get searching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Metal Archives.
Oh, really?
Facebook. Sometimes you can almost always bet that there's like a Facebook group that's like blank metal scene.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Any
so, like,
city. Yeah.
yeah.
And which is something that I feel like I should be in, like every single city's metal. But then there's too many of them when you get into the bigger ones like New York or Chicago. It's like, oh my God, there's 20 of these pages. Which one is active? Which one is valuable? But
so I was just kind of looking around and like messaging bands, being like, hey, you guys sound cool. You want to play with us? And then go for it.
Hey, that's
as long as
yeah.
they're active, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. That's some super DIY fucking
Man.
Like that's some work. Like if you were my band, like I'd be praising you for fucking putting that work in. What a pain in the ass that is.
I start 6 to 7 months before we want to
Right.
like go.
Oh, yeah.
And that gives me enough time to get it figured out.
'Cause
I'm
you
still
just-
figuring stuff out
yeah.
today, but
So what about any like longer or bigger tours? I know you said you're an 8-day kind of cat band with anything. If the opportunity presented itself and it was the right financial and everything, what would that look like? Is that something you guys would be able to jump on, or?
we'd consider it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if
that's
it
fine.
was something
Yeah.
cool and like somebody wanted to take us out,
Yeah.
like we would definitely like
definitely.
come together and figure out what we're capable of doing.
I feel like the question within the question is: are there restrictions via job or family? Like
Yeah, that's
children?
kind of what I was leaning towards.
Wife,
because,
children,
we're family dudes, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're-
Yes.
we got all that. So
Yeah, I think that's why 8 is kind of the max right now. Is just we all have jobs that we're not trying to lose. Jimmy's a parent now,
Okay.
as of late last year.
Okay.
So
is he
there's a
the
lot.
only in the band?
Well, Brian has an adult stepchild. So
He just
but-
went to college. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's good.
He's fine,
Brian's good
so
for
he's-
it.
So he's good to go.
he can go on his own
He's-
fucking tour.
Yeah,
He's out of
he's
the
booking,
mess.
he's booking our next one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of little things like that is just, I think we would wait until that opportunity comes, and then
Right.
we'd figure out what we're capable
Yeah.
of. In an ideal world, to me, it's like there's a tour happening and they're like, hey, do you want to support us in the Midwest? You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you want to get on
Just
a
jump
leg
out for a
of it?
few
That would be
days.
cool.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be the ideal situation.
and that situation will present itself, I'm
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
for you guys.
You guys can definitely get away with some Midwest activity all day long. I'd like to see it get out west to Denver, where I feel like the scene of this style of music really jumps off the page to me. There's bands out that way that really fit your guys' style, almost to the detriment of you don't want to have an oversaturated bill.
Yeah.
But like if you guys, I think you guys would fit really well out there with a couple of bands like Chemists or Veil of Noth.
Veil of Noth.
Veil of Noth, who I just mentioned a minute ago, a band that's from out that way.
Ulcerate?
I think Deafheaven is from out that way. I could be
Oh, no,
mistaken though. Ulcerate's from
New
yeah.
Zealand. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I think you guys would do really well out there if that was
That'd be
if-
fun.
if you
Yeah.
guys could get that far away from home. Like I think that's a market that's really cool in my opinion.
Like an Abigail Williams type tour or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be
That
super
would
cool.
be
Yeah, something between doom
Yeah.
and black metal. You
Yeah.
guys would do really well
yeah.
supporting those acts.
Yeah, so you guys got 8 days coming up. I'm assuming the DIY thing is kind of like you said, it might be someone's basement or living room or whatever.
Yep. I mean, we have a lot of venues. I think one house, perhaps. Yeah, it's just kind of whoever said yes.
And then where you guys staying? Wherever you can, or
We usually find spots ahead of time, like a hotel or something like that. Just
Are we going hotel with a H? Or are we going motel because
Well, we've stayed in a
We've done a
motel.
motel. We've done a motel here.
definitely
yes.
It's all right.
John's door didn't lock.
oh damn,
It didn't really even close.
It didn't really
I
close.
put a lot of chairs and luggage and
Oh,
anything I could find to kind
Yeah.
of close it, but it was that was wild. That was Minnesota. It was a good time, but we all made it.
Yeah,
It was-
we do kind of at this point, like most of us are in our mid-30s. It's like I've done the sleep in the van thing. There's also 5 members worth of gear in our van, so we can't even sleep in it anyway.
Right.
And we're just kind of like, okay, let's just get some beds. You know what I mean? So that's what we do generally.
Treating ourselves to a bed. You know?
A bed, yeah. At least.
Well, shit. We're about 2:10. We went about an hour 40. I'd love to have you guys back sometime, especially if you got something else going on. Nick will close us out because I'd like to know about what these guys. Well, first, what's next for you guys? I know you're going on tour, but do we have any future plans? I guess before kind of what's next for One With The Riverbed. I'm sure we're not writing anything, right now. I know you said you had 1 track, but
I think writing is going to be the focus.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hunker down and finish something out.
hope that the faucet turns back on.
Exactly. Right. Get the plumber, the riff plumber.
It'd be like that sometimes. I'll write 2 songs in a day, and then one day I'll be like, we're writing a riff for 3 hours. I'm like, this riff sucks, dude. What the hell?
Yeah, been there.
We always dial back a little bit during the holidays too, just because it gets so hard to
so much
schedule
going
stuff.
on.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
But Nick will send us out with our final question. And then go ahead, buddy.
Well, before I get into my question, I know we're done here, but I just wanted to say, I listened to the Lucius Fox new album last night, and then I put on all 3 of your guys' albums back to back to back. So I don't know if you've even done that. Sat down.
Definitely not.
But this guy has. I plowed through all of your content. And for one, I really appreciated just the juxtaposition from going to Lucius Fox to you guys, because they're just chaotic and spastic, and I love it. Frenzy was the word, chaos was the word that I use, and then when I get to you guys, it's this whole different animal, and it's closer to home for me because I look at Jeremy's playing and I'm like, nah, that's for Jason. Jason does that work. Me, I like that. I like what you guys are doing with the droning and the repetition, and I'm like, that hits home. And Jay's said this about other bands with other styles. He's like, I just want a band I want to be in a band like that. For me, that would be like you guys. I would love to be in a band like what you guys are doing. And I wanted to just compliment you and say it was really inspirational. And it made me want to just start writing within my own skill set, within my wheelhouse, what I know, without trying to be anything or anybody else. So not only is your music just fucking awesome, and I can't wait to see you guys live, but I felt like it moved me to okay, we don't have to be over the top with the musicianship. I don't have to be flashy and doing all these weird, crazy skill set things that are out of my, way above my pay grade. I just felt like, man, I could sit down and write and semi mimic these guys, but go into my own thing as well. But there were so many passages that just spoke to me. It's I wish I wrote that. Oh, fuck. No, wish I wrote that one too. God, that's so good. Oh, I love it. Fucking great.
I was 1 song in and I texted him. I'm like, dude, this shit is fucking sweet. You'll love this.
Yeah. And he knows my,
I know.
he knows my styles and tastes and preferences. And I was like, well, if Jay says so, it's good. And one last thing I want to say before I go into my outro question is, we didn't touch on this one too much, but Phantom's Glance, the last track on Absence, fucking great song. We didn't do the song by song for those albums, but there's a part in it where the drums and the bass lock in, and
6 minutes in. Yes. That's exactly the same.
Yeah, I have. And so I just wanted to read what I had here for that. So I got song shifts to an alternate picking rhythm. The beat drops with the bass on the kick drum. So the bass is locked in with the kick drum. Tight, choo-choo, ooh. The kick pattern with the bass following it is fire. And my fucking face is so ugly mad right now. I'm just listening to this fucking part, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. So I just wanted to sing the praises of that part because I loved how the drums and the bass really drove that part and how they alternated between like a triplet kind of a pattern to just that steady double bass pattern on that section. I was like, man, to me, I don't know if it's in the set list, but after hearing it one good time, I'm like, staple, bring it back, consider it for the future. Just know that if I tell you guys, hey, I'm coming out, play Phantom's Glance, at least be rehearsing it so we can consider it because I fucking love that song.
14 minutes and 9 seconds.
Don't care. Don't care.
We'll do it.
It's so fucking good.
Thank you.
It's a great song.
Nick's I got the revision copy. I wasn't asking for that, guys.
I don't want to hear a 6-minute abridged version of that song because it's not going to have the impact. It's not going to have the build up to that part. I need it. And 14 minutes is still just only half the set.
Exactly. 2 song set.
Fine. Do the other 14 minute song.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So thank you guys for all of that. I'd like to take us out on this question. Let's let our listeners and your fans know, what are we listening to these days? It can be older. It doesn't matter. I just want to know what's in the listening wheel right now. And so what's heavy? And then what's mellow? Because I know you guys with your style, you got to have both in your listening. I'd imagine we're listening to some death metal or otherwise, and then we're listening to some jazz or or folk
On the way here.
Literally on the way here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. So whoever feels ready.
It could just be like one or two. It don't have to be like your whole Spotify playlist or
Yeah,
nothing.
gotcha.
Whatever jumps out at you, like.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I've been listening to new Blackbraid album.
Oh, fucking awesome,
yeah,
dude.
it's a
That's
great
like-
album.
Dude,
After
it's
listening
so
to your
sick.
guys' stuff, like I saw it on YouTube. I was like, "Fuck, I haven't listened to it yet." But I was like, "I don't."
Oh, you haven't?
I have not. I don't know
It's
how long.
so good.
Oh no, it hasn't been out that long, right? Blackblade 3, right? We're up to 3.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
so I haven't.
I thought you and I listened to that when we went to that Recorruptor show.
Okay, if we did, say the quiet
cut
part
the-
out loud.
I'll cut that out.
We got kids listening.
Let me cut that out. But yeah, dude, you must have been not paying attention
we?
like a motherfucker.
We were talking over because we always
Yeah.
talk. But
Yeah,
yes,
but-
compliments. I fucking can't wait to really
Yeah.
listen to it for real intentionally and take that one. And that's one that's on my radar.
We talk 4 hours every Sunday, so an hour and a half car ride. You think we'd shut the fuck up for 2 seconds? But nope.
That's awesome. I love that.
No, we go up into the driveway after this, and we do a whole podcast. About the animals.
Yes.
It's fucking
that.
great.
As you could see with the Lucius Fox guys when you rolled up and we're
Yeah,
out
we
there
couldn't
talking to them
stop.
for 35 minutes too. But
Jared,
so Blackbraid, fucking awesome choice.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a second one. There's this band. They're called I don't know how to. It's Autumn Nostalgie, but I think it's nostalgia. But I think it's like Slovakian maybe or something. They just came out. They're like it's like the brainchild of like one guy, but it's like post black metal, like versus atmospheric black metal. It's more post,
Okay.
and that's been a.
is that a distinction you want to define for the listeners between post and?
It's so hard to. It's like I can feel it, but I don't know if I can. To me, atmospheric is a little bit more metal,
Okay.
where post is a little bit more based in like post rock, for example, or
Like
less
indie.
more floating guitar, more beautiful melodies versus maybe a melody that's like darker in feel.
Like
Does that
more
make
minor
sense?
key,
Yeah.
harsh.
That's
type.
kind of where.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, because when I said post at the beginning of the show, when you said post metal, to me that just says indie rock. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't trying to offend you guys by
No,
saying you
yeah.
sounded
Yeah,
like
no, not
indie
at all.
rock
Yeah.
by any means, because I don't know what the fuck post means. Because I hear a lot of
Yeah.
they're post hardcore. I'm like, is it hardcore or is it not? I don't know. Like post means like
post.
they're like we used to be hardcore, but now we're doing something else. That's what that means to me. But
I always
don't
took
know.
it as like they were fans of said genre,
Yeah.
and this is what they wanted to play instead of playing that genre.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, it's really close,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're gonna make our own
Yeah,
thing.
we compromised.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's awesome.
So that's mine.
Cool.
Okay.
Brian.
Any chill? Does that count as your chill?
Yeah,
The Autumn
I
Nostalgie?
don't delve into chill too much.
That's
I
fair.
don't think.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna twist your arm.
Brian or
Me?
John?
Gotta be Brian.
Okay.
Let's see. Heavy stuff I've been listening to lately. This band called Horse Bastard from England.
Nice,
They're
cool name.
I think they call themselves like Equestrian Blast Core or something. Like that. They're sick though.
It's all
it's like
Minotaurs.
28 songs in 17 or 18 minutes.
Oh
It's
god damn.
sick.
That is some blasty shit.
I don't know, for soft stuff.
No one listens to soft stuff.
Well,
That's okay.
in the non-metal world, I've been listening to a lot of Oasis lately.
That's awesome, dude.
That's totally fair. I love it. I just like to get your listeners an idea of what we're listening to outside of metal, right? Because you pull in something from outside of metal
Yeah.
to fuse into your metal, and that's
Yeah.
the whole purpose of the question is.
Can I tell him
What?
about the Instagram story? Brian posted that he was at the Oasis show on Instagram, and actually the one of the guys from Ghost Bath was also there and replied.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
I mean,
replied
that's
to- except he was right up front.
That's sick.
Paid good money for them seats, I bet.
Right.
I've fucking been listening to a lot of post equestrian or equestrian
Blast.
black metal. It's like not horse metal. It's like more pony metal. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
smaller
yes.
horses. So that's kind of what I fuck.
Man, this year's been all about Cannibal Corpse for me. It's
Really?
been,
Yeah?
It's been great.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yes. Haven't listened to them since high school. Took a breather, and then it's just like, it's time. It's time. You know, I'm an old man now. I got to get back to it. Non-metal, it's mostly non-metal, honestly. But probably Rodrigo y Gabriela is really classic. You know, the two guitars, acoustic guitarists. You know, that's good stuff. Also, Vince Guaraldi trio, man, get the jazz going. Like, yeah.
Any Sleep Token fans in the house?
Probably not.
No?
No.
Bill Murray?
Bill Murray's newest song was Fire.
Sick.
It's so heavy.
The actor?
Nothing like that?
No, I think I'm always out of the loop
No,
as
yeah,
to like
we're-
what's going
Okay.
on. I
Yeah.
think.
Just wondered. Just curious.
It'll be like 2
I know
years have passed, and then I'll listen to the
Yeah.
album that came out.
Well, I just know Sleep Token's such a fucking hot topic, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to bitch this way or that way. I was just wondering
Yeah.
if you guys, because it is a lot of chill and a little bit of metal. I mean, so they got a lot of dynamics, and their drummer is fucking insane. So,
That's awesome.
but yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
What? I want to expound just a little bit. Cannibal, like everything. Cannibal, certain eras, or like you trying to
Probably-
go through the whole catalog.
I appreciate you so much for asking. Kill and Beyond for sure.
Oh,
so
okay.
you know that
Okay.
that came out when I was in high school, and I was like, "This is good." This
So
is
after
it.
Barnes,
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Suffers.
No
No,
it's
disrespect to
fine.
Barnes.
the Bleeding from Barnes, though,
Yeah.
top notch, phenomenal album. And you could give or take whatever, Eating Back to Life and Tomb of the Mutilate, especially with those vocals on that one. But
Yeah.
the same vocals that you'll be doing on the next record, you said.
Correct.
Right, just
Yep.
Yes.
So, all right, One With The Riverbed. Thank you guys so much for coming out, spending your afternoon with us today. We really appreciate it. Make sure you guys go check out One With The Riverbed. And thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Much love. Keep it metal. Peace. Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.